Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today you will continue learning about indices or power number. In last video you already learned about the square, and for this video I want to introduce you about cube. What does that mean, cube? Let me revise about the square. When you got square, it means you will have the number is multiplied by itself. 5 times 5 equal to 5 square, or you can write out the resultant number is 25. But about cube, you have 3 times for multiplication, like 5 times 5 times 5, like this. You have 3 times. So for 3 times, the power number cannot be true anymore. The power number have to be 3. So this one you can call it Q, 5Q. 5Q is mean 5 times 5 times 5. And multiplication for this one you got 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 will be 125. So for this result you have 125 is final answer for 5Q. The same thing for question 2 or for number 2. You got 2Q is mean 2 times 2 times 2 3 times, and then you got 8. Yeah, a little easy for calculating, but how about another writing? What does it mean for this question? Negative 2Q and negative 2 inside the bracket, and you got Q outside the bracket like this. Very carefully about this writing, it's a little bit complicated. So for the second writing, you got no bracket, that's negative 2Q, and this Q or this position I will understand that the Q only apply for 2, so here is my writing, negative 2 times 2 times 2 like this, and then you have negative times positive number, and 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, but about the sign, you have negative and plus here, so this one will be plus, because this action will give you negative number and multiply with positive number, and then you got negative number in result. Okay, so another question, negative 2 square outside the bracket. This writing I will understand that the number Q in the power number position, this power number will be applied for both, for all bracket. It means you have to write down 3 times for this bracket, 1 bracket, 2 bracket, and 3 bracket. This writing you will have 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And how about the positive and negative side? Minus 2 times minus 2 you got plus 4, and then it is multiplied by minus 2, so plus 4 times negative 2, 4, you got this writing. Okay, compared to the last video, you already learned about this writing. You have 2 square, you got negative 2 square like this, and you got negative 2 inside the bracket, and you got square outside. For this writing, this square here apply for only number 2, so 2 times 2 you got 4. For this writing, the same meaning, square apply only for number 2, so you will take number 2 will be multiplied by itself, and then negative number and positive number you got negative number. And for this one you got negative 2 on negative 2 inside the bracket, is mean bracket multiplied by itself, and then the the resultant number will be 4, because negative times negative equal to 4. So the same thing for this writing, and this understand a little bit different. When you have no bracket, this Q number only apply for this number, but when you got bracket, this Q number will be applied for all the number inside the bracket. So for result, okay, maybe this one is the same with this one, but the writing is different. The writing here and the writing here is different. Very carefully, very clearly about this writing. Same writing, same understanding, and same writing, same understanding. Apply this knowledge and don't forget to write down your explaining. You got here some exercise for practicing this question. You got 2Q. Okay, it means let's make some example about this question. You got Q for all 10 questions in this screen. So how can you explain? Okay, you should not write down only your result. You have to explain the calculation. Look at this, 2Q is mean 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times, and then you got 8 in my final answer. For this one, you got Q, 3Q. 3q 3 times 3 times 3 and you got 27. Minus 3q, no bracket, so this writing have to be explained by this calculating. Okay, negative and times 3 is because this number I have to understand about the repeating only apply for only number 3, the 3. So negative 27 because you have only one negative sign here and the remaining, the last two number is positive. So negative times positive, you got negative. For this writing, you got 3 outside the brackets. It means the repeating have to be applied for all bracket and you got 3 bracket multiplied together like this. Negative 4 times negative 4 and times negative 4. Negative times negative, you got positive. And then positive times negative, it is negative. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4, you got 64. 64 is my final answer for this question. And you have to solve your working out like this. Okay, so how about this one? Yeah, only 3 for 2. Repeat 2 3 times. Negative 8. 5q only 5. No negative, no bracket. 5 times 5 times 5. And for this one, you have to practice about calculation. 125. Yes, very easy. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. For this writing, you have 3 brackets multiplied together. This one and this one. Okay, so minus 125. And for this calculating, you got minus 1 times 1 times 1. And the repeating only apply for number 1. The 1, you got negative 1. And for this writing, another writing. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 for 3 times. And then you got here is positive. Multiply negative, you got negative. 1 times 1 times 1 is very easy. That is the first 10 question. And you can see a little different to explaining calculation. I think you can understand that. Okay, so the last 10 question, you can do it very quickly. For first one, you got 10 times 10 times 10 equal to 1000. For this writing, you got here 5 times 5 times 5 and only one minus sign at the beginning of this calculation. Minus 125. For this one, yeah, a little bit harder. 9 times 9 is 81. 81 times 9, you got 729. I think I should check my result in calculator. Yeah, 729, but the number the sign have to be minus because you have the one minus sign here. For this writing, no bracket, it means minus 4 times 4 times 4. 1 negative, 2 positive. The result will be negative 64. And the same thing for this writing. The result may be the same with the next question, minus 1000. The explaining a little different. Very carefully about this one because when you learn about the indices or more harder exponent, you will have problem if you don't understand about this writing. Negative 10 times negative 10 and times negative 10 3 times. The same answer, you got this action. You got this resultant number. 7 times 7 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7, you got 343. Yep, for this writing, negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. 3 times. So 6 to power of 3 or 6 cubed, you got 260 like this, but you have the minus sign in front of that number. Okay, the same thing for this one. Minus 6 times 6 times 6. That's a little different in the explaining calculation. So here is minus 216. And the last one, you have positive number only, and then you got 216 like this. Yeah, okay. So after 2 videos about the indices of power number, I think you have familiar with square and cube. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you next time. Bye bye.